Live from Pahrump, Nevada, the Valley of the Dirt People, it's Tech Talk, Taco Tuesday, with your hosts, Jimmy Lewis and Logan Tyler.
Yeah.
We're live?
Yeah, you're live.
On the internets?
On the internets.
That's good. This is Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, as you just heard. My name is Jimmy Lewis. Standing in for my regular co-host is his dad.
Hi, everybody. Jimmy Tyler here.
Jimmy Tyler, because Logan cannot be with us because evidently he has COVID and he's dead.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but
Oh,
he's down home digging a hole. I knew that.
he's not digging ditches?
I told him to go dig a hole for himself.
Oh, okay, got it. So welcome to the show where we talk about motorcycles and motorcycle-related products, specifically dirt bikes, because this is a dirtbiketest.com product. If you're not familiar with Dirt Bike Test, you don't know, well, you probably do know all the information you're missing out on, and that's why you're not looking at that, because you want to be uninformed. So we are here. This is Tuesday night. We don't have any tacos. We're going to have some tech, and we're going to talk. So that's what we're going to get through on this thing. Couple show notes. Number one, this show is brought to you by, can you guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yamaha, Taco Moto, Scott Goggles. Probably Scott everything, right?
Scott Goggles.
Scott Goggles.
They have a lot of stuff. You can't.
EDC, Climb, Trail Tech.
And the Adelanto Grand Prix.
Yeah, the Adelanto wine mixer.
You know, if Logan was younger, you should have him race in the futures class.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
they're taking.
I wouldn't be the first dad to lie about a kid's age. I know that.
Well, you don't have to lie about the age. Just put them on a mini bike, on a
yeah.
super mini.
Oh, okay.
Because the cool thing about this is they get to ride. They have, so it's a 3-moto format. They do one that's like a mini Grand Prix. They do one that's more like a motocross, and then they do one that's a longer race, the full race. And the longer race, they get to race with the pros at the same time as the pros.
Okay.
And Ty Davis, who's promoting the race, does this because he wants to show everybody how fast some of these kids are.
Some of these 85s are, right?
Yeah, they really go pretty fast.
Yeah,
I mean, I
amazing.
know because I go to practice tracks every once in a while, and kids in the 80s are going ripping by you. So there is that, and it gives the kids an experience to see what it's like to do it like the pro guys.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, if you got a fast kid, send them to Adelanto. Take them. Actually, if you know somebody that has a fast kid, tell dad, because you know how mini bike dads are. Do you know how mini bike dads are?
I'm not that guy, but yeah, I do know how they are. I've seen
You're
them.
not that guy.
I don't think I am.
Okay, just checking because everybody that has a kid's a mini. You know,
I
remember?
mean, I technically am a mini bike. No longer a mini bike dad. Got to be honest. Thank God for that. I love full size bikes.
Full size rider dad. So if you
We'll
got
go
a
back to
friend,
that
if you
for
got a
nothing.
friend who's a mini bike dad, have him take their kid to Adelanto and put up or shut up.
There you go.
I mean, don't say it that way. Just encourage them to go there and let's see how the little man acts as a real man. Because
Right.
that race will will show your mettle if there is such a thing.
It's in a stadium too, right?
They go into
It's part of that baseball?
They go into that baseball stadium. They have a little stadium section.
You know,
That's
that's
where-
always kind of cool for kids to feel like,
Oh,
you know, they're heroes on Sunday or Saturday.
yeah, or Friday night, or
Yeah. I mean, you're not, you know.
And they have classes for everybody. They have mini bike classes. They have Stasic, like they have like a Stasic class, and they have an adult mini bike class. I should go there to relive some of my past glory as a
Bust out one of them sweet XRs. Up
7-time world backyard Supercross champion. I should go there and just dominate. But there's probably some other fast mini bike adults.
there. They don't stop coming, right?
I like to talk about how fast I was, not have to show it. So, good times. Thanks again to all of our sponsors. I'll tell you about my climb stuff later. I got a little climb story, which is pretty cool. We have a new climb commercial.
We did not. We were not able to get it on.
Not able to get it on.
No.
Well, then we have to tell you that you can watch the new climb commercial on YouTube, right?
Yep. I can put a link to it in commercial.
Okay.
On YouTube.
We'll put a link to it, and that's almost as good as you watching in a commercial break. But we have some new commercials, so you might want to stick around for commercials. Everybody hates commercials, but we try to have cool commercials on the show.
Yeah, and they're actually fun to watch.
And if you like Matt over here, Matt is the Jimmy Lewis Off-Road Training Beginner Rider Coach. And he helped me develop this Beginner Rider series. So if you know somebody who's looking to get into riding, before you try to teach them how to use the clutch and the brake and all the other stuff,
wrong things,
have them watch our Beginner Rider series of videos. It's not free because just like anything, if there's something really good, you got to pay for it. Unlike this show. So, but we'll give you a 10% off code. All you need to do is type in, and it's all small letters, Tech Talk 22. That's Tech Talk 22, all strung together for a 10% on our Beginner Rider series at www.jimmylewisoffroad.com. Go to where it says online training, and you can save like $3.95 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Good, it's a great deal, and it's in the chat if you're in the chat. And if you're wondering how to participate, watch the show, become part of the show. We love our regular viewers. You can go to YouTube's, Facebook's. Are we still streaming on Twitch? Do we still do that?
Not really. I shut it off because
Shut
I
it
wanted
off?
to stream more Facebook channels.
So we do some Facebook channels. That is how you can do this on a Tuesday night from 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time till whenever we decide we're bored of listening to ourselves.
out of tequila.
Oh, speaking of that, I didn't reload. We didn't do a very good job last year.
Pretty low tide over there.
It's probably because your kid wasn't helping me out.
I know.
I mean,
well, that's
by-
why he's sick, because he doesn't medicate.
No, jeez.
Kidding.
Hence, not a mini bike, Dad. So, anyhow, yeah, that's all sponsors. Show up, support. These guys really do support the show. We like their products. We wouldn't talk about them if they thought it was junk. And yeah, good times. So, welcome to the show, Jimmy.
Thank you for having me.
Glad
Happy
you're
to be
sitting
here.
in. It's going to be strange for me because you do talk a little bit more than Logan, which I will get accustomed to, and I encourage it.
Yeah, okay.
Gives me a break, gives me a time to pour myself a tequila. Somebody needs that. Thanks, Matt, for being here.
Yeah, always. It's a good time.
He turns the lights on at about, I think 2 o'clock. The whole studio gets lit up.
Making sure everything's working great.
And as the resident poor person around here, I actually think about how much energy that uses. Like
They
from
look LED, though, so,
I'm doing okay.
yeah.
I think he's actually trying to warm the place up because I sure as hell don't run the heater around here.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's probably cheaper.
I mean,
than
look,
the
you're
heater.
wearing your long sleeves. I don't wear a jacket during the show because I want to, my sponsors.
We have so much arm hair. It's going
Our,
to keep you
our
warm.
weather turned.
Well, that's
for
why I
sure.
have so much arm hair because
Yeah.
it's like the winter coat.
Yeah.
By the way, it grows on my face as well. I wish it would grow on the top of my head. So, wouldn't you like us to start talking about motorcycles and dirt bike products?
I think John Jackson actually has a good question there.
John Jackson,
Yeah.
what are your feelings on Yamaha introducing the Tenere World Raid bike in Europe, then pulling their factory support for rally? What are my feelings? I think it sucks that they're pulling out of the rally. I mean, just as a fan, but I
Need more factories there.
totally understand it, and I know a little bit from maybe a little bit of insider position. I know a lot on why, and it's no big deal, but it was probably a decision that was made before this year happened.
Oh, really?
I mean, it was probably, these companies operate on budgets that are a little bit long term. It's not
Sure,
just
yeah,
like
yeah,
everybody's
yeah.
going,
They're
why
not
do they
just-
pull out? Well, if you saw the results they had last year, like why spend money showing
To do that. Yeah, that's a good
you
point.
know, not very good durability at the time, and
But the budget was set for 2022.
probably way before that.
At least the Dakar part of it.
2022 happened, and it's unfortunate. But they also knew, you think they just released this Tenere World Raid bike, and they probably want to spend some marketing budget. They're also spending money on racing their UTV in Dakar. The what is it, YTZ?
YFZ?
YXT? I don't know. It's
YFZ,
a,
I
it's
think.
a
but
1,000. yeah.
YZF, I don't know.
So I think they're going to continue to support that program. And Yamaha France has a long history in Dakar, and doesn't mean that maybe after this year that they're going to look at in the future or however it works. So I do not know when this bike is going to show up in the USA. I always say if it's a Yamaha thing that you see over in Europe that's designed and kind of pushed by Yamaha Europe, it may never show up, which they make a lot of bikes that you don't get here because you just don't. They don't feel the market's right excuse me, ripe for it. And then it may show up 1 year after when they know that that's a hit. You know, when the marketing and product planning in the United States decides that it's time for that. Just like they must have decided it was time for pure performance and exhilarating power with a full line of Yamaha YZ two-stroke bikes. Visit YamahaMotorsports.com today to explore what's new for 2022. I'm going to cut it short at that time.
Yeah.
And I hit the Husaberg bell on
The
accident.
Berg
with my
button
wrist.
went off.
Well,
they're
it's
both
a blue bike.
They're both blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, both blue. So those lights are kept on by that. So, Jesse, finish your sentences.
I think he finished it in a leather.
Oh, another thing? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll skip down to that. Was trying to say that your lights are kept on by that solar field blocking my trail. No, they are not, and they will not be kept on by that because that power is not coming back into... I mean, technically, it's all going to go into the same grid that we all buy the stuff from. So green power is contaminated with, you know, coal-produced and nuclear-produced and gas-produced power, and you don't know really what it is, but just I hope you feel better by having solar panels in my riding area while you're looking at your damn iPhone and feeling superior. That's all I have to say about it. I'm done with that. Robert Foster says, what are your top 3 picks for this weekend in Arlington? What's happening this weekend in Arlington?
Tomac, and probably Tomac.
Is that Supercross racing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a triple crown.
You're okay, that's strike one, Jimmy. We don't talk about racing on this show. This is about
Well,
product.
why don't we just yell at Robert for that? Not
Oh,
me.
okay. Let's see, Supercross. I watched Supercross before I went riding. I have 480 miles of riding under my belt since Supercross because I watched Supercross like right before I went to bed, and I did not fall asleep because the racing was actually pretty good to watch. The track was gnarly.
I bet your front wheel looks better than Sexton's.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, just spoiler alert in case you haven't watched it yet, but yeah, don't. We're not going to talk about it. That's what we don't do.
For the record, I'm with Jimmy Tomac this weekend.
Really?
Yeah,
He's good at those triple
he
crowns.
rocks it. He crushes it on the triple crowns.
Oh, is that what it is?
yeah, triple crown round.
I just turn it on TV and I watch it and I enjoy it, and then I'm done with it. Although I do.
I kind of get that. I don't know how I know it, but I do like the idea of the triple crowns and all that.
I like them too, actually.
Yeah. So I kind of keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, it's something different.
I watch them all. I like watching those guys ride. I like watching just to see how their bikes are working, and I know enough in the background. I listen to just enough like podcast stuff that when I'm bored that I hear stuff, and I'm not like by any means an insider. I just know how this stuff works, and I like just digesting the whole thing.
Yeah, open-minded it.
Yeah.
What do you think about the fact that they had like a cheap wheel on?
A cheap wheel.
Yeah, factory Honda had first comment I read.
I like the on Twitter people were going on about how the wheel broke before Sexton's crash. The wheel
factory Honda. What do they just?
Yeah,
couldn't get a good wheel.
They just
huh?
cheaped out.
Here's something interesting. So I just mentioned that I rode a lot the last couple days, Sunday, Monday. I was testing a lot of different things. Not enough to contaminate the test of one thing or another, but. So I have a really, really bitchin' set of W wheels for my KTM's. They're the XL, the A60. Is that what it is? The A60. The really strong rim.
Yeah.
And it's on trying to think. I'm pretty sure it's the Talon hub. I'm not sure it's the Talon kind. I have to look at it specifically because I have a couple different sets. And then spokes are a little bit larger, a little bit more robust. And just like I can feel the front disc guard.
Yeah.
Because I'm a pretty P, whatever I am.
Princess and the P.
Yeah, so I'm that. The wheels change the rigidity of the wheels change your feel. So it would not even surprise me that Honda, as much as they go to test different things, has different levels of rim and hub and spoke flex and characteristics. And they will test these and try these different things. They if you look at the Hondas, the factory Hondas, they always have factory wheels on them.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, the hubs are always.
Yeah.
Now,
at least look at.
Now, did a factory wheel contribute to that crash?
No.
I think it's a testament to how much Sexton was pushing it.
Yeah.
It's an absolute testament to that. And you saw he just he was going around that turn. He was in the rut, and I would blame the tire way more because that tire was slipping and then it gripped. And who knows whether exactly how the dirt was exactly at that time. But when you're watching these guys at Outland, or somebody just go in and say, "Oh, the wheel failed before," that's the kind of stuff you get for free on the internet, which is
why the internet was invented, right?
Which is what we're sitting here talking about.
Like Tomac not getting factory parts.
I'm trying to break this down as much as I can, looking at it, but there's tire, there's rim, and Bob's waving his hand like a freaking windmill,
on fire.
like a wind generating turbine over here, and you're not helping keep these lights on. But what do you got to say, Bob?
Wire spoke wheels do not handle lateral loads very well at all.
Wire spoke wheels do not handle lateral loads very well at all.
Will we see them on mag wheels next weekend?
Oh yeah, mag wheels are coming to Supercross. This is going to fix the problem.
You heard it here first,
right?
Folks.
Yep, we broke it down.
Bob.
We don't talk about racing. We talk about the tech, and we break it down to its essence. So
mag wheels coming to Honda.
Put that on Vital, right? Great, Bob. Thanks for bringing that up. Mag wheels are coming to Supercross via Bob. Composite mag wheels too, because they'd be even stronger in certain directions, but way weaker in other ones. I would love to get a foot peg into one of those. So. That's Robert. Thanks for starting our Supercross discussion, which we will not talk about anymore that I know of. And what I was going to tell you is if you have a friend that asks you the stupid questions, the questions that you don't feel like answering because you don't have the time, or maybe you're not equipped, tag them, share this podcast or whatever we call it anymore.
That's a
show
podcast.
Yeah, share this show with them right now. Tag them and say, hey. You know that question you were asking at the campfire and you got a lot of stupid answers? Ask Jimmy and Jimmy.
The Jimmies.
So we should
that should be its own show.
we can help this. Let's see. RP says, how well did your KTM 500 EXC handle the weight of your luggage when you ran the Tour of Idaho? It handled it excellently, I must add, because I finished and I had no problems. So did it affect the way the bike worked? Yes. Had I ridden with that much weight before? Yes. Do I ride it different because it has the weight on the bike? Yes.
Would you have felt a weight difference if there was a front disc guard?
I didn't have a front disc guard on my bike. It might have actually helped balance the bike out.
Oh.
Yeah, it might have helped, with that little extra weight on the front end.
Breaking news, Jimmy's doing a 180.
I'm not. We rode through some rocks on this ride that I did that, most people were probably thinking you needed a disc guard for. I didn't have one. So, yeah, Connor, you're correct. This show does not talk about racing unless we're talking about the tech. But you want to know my picks? What are my picks? I don't know. I'd have to know more about which race and where it was, and then the dirt and all this stuff. And it's just another weekend of Supercross, and I hope the racing's good. It seems like it's been pretty good so far.
Mm-hmm.
I've been impressed with this season.
Ricky Brabeck says he should have been running the Parker DTs. Ricky, when he rides in the United States, when he's riding under the JCR banner, runs the Parker DTs like I do. I don't think he likes them as much as I do. I like them more, because I really like the braking performance on those things. So, okay, wait, is Tech Talk 22 a JLR student code? Trey, yes, it is. It's only for the online schools at the moment, because there's no way I could afford to keep doing my schools if I gave you that kind of a discount in our regular schools, which are actually a discount in their own right. You should pay my insurance bill. So,
and the permits?
Yeah, the permit. Well, the permit's just is 3% gross right off the top, straight away. It just goes away.
Yeah.
So we're working on this. And the other thing about the advice we give here, if I don't have the answer, I will tell you I don't know. I don't have the answer. we can guess a little bit about it, but we'll say that they're guesses or educated guesses. But we do have experts in the show, and I'd like to bring experts up. Chris Reel is in the chat, and so if you have oil-related questions, we can turn to an expert that will help guide me when I just say, you know what I like to say about oil? Matt?
As long as it's in the bike, you're fine.
That's right. Yep. Have some in the bike. That's the best oil to have is some in the bike. So, Curly says, if he says yes, he is lying. Are you talking to, was it your wife that called me the P? The pretty P? I felt the discard. I know I did. And we talked about that in the last show, why we thought I did. Because, then actually it was Chris that sent me the weights of a bunch of different discards. And it was definitely no more than putting a really heavy tire on the bike, but it's not spinning like a tire does, and that makes a bigger difference. So,
right.
What does Jesse want to know? Jimmy, that's your cue.
Oh, I'll say it. Jesse Gent, got a tech question already. Bought and installed a Boysen Super Cooler for my KTM 350 EXCF. That's the dual sport, right? Mm-hmm. Rode Rocky Gap this weekend. Always a local. Seems like my bike still got hot and the fan kicked on as much as before. You got to go through there pretty fast not to kick on a fan, right?
Right.
And the bike got stall happy. Second question, if it feels like my back tire is spinning on the rock.
Okay, let's handle the first question.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so interesting. I had done a very extensive test on the Boysen Supercooler on a KTM 350. So I will tell you, if you put only the Boysen Supercooler on your bike, you will see 99.9% absolutely no change whatsoever in the cooling performance of your motorcycle. The only thing that I noticed is that maybe, and it was confirmed with GPS data that was hooked up to a temperature sensor, that I rode the exact same trail with a couple different setups, and one of them was the supercooler and the impeller, that if you ride the exact same trail, that thing, the temperatures basically are the same all the way through the trail. The only thing it did was that when the bike started getting hot initially, it didn't get as hot as quick. And we're talking about, I would say, like when you get to something, you're on something where you're flowing air through the radiators, and you get to something where it's technical, where you drop down a gear, maybe you have to use the clutch and stuff, and you see the bikes heat up. It didn't heat up as quickly initially, but it very quickly caught up. And then once you got to the place where you started being able to cool the bike, where there was airflow going back through the radiators and stuff again, just initially in the very beginning, it would cool down just a little bit quicker. And so it showed me that, yes, it's flowing more water, but unless you upgrade your entire system to handle whatever you're trying to create, it's part of a system. And if your cooler is, if your impeller's pumping more water, it might be pumping the water through the radiators a little bit quicker. And then eventually the radiators catch right back up and they get too hot, and then they start performing as they will. And it doesn't matter how fast you're flowing the water through there, in general, in the grand scheme of things. So it's all part of a system. But I will tell you, Jesse. Oh wait, I think let's go into part of question number 2. It ties into this.
Second question: if it feels like my back tire is spinning on the rocks, but it really is not. Is it actually my clutch plates slipping? Just thinking something is getting overheated somewhere.
Yes.
Ding, ding,
so
ding.
So ding ding exactly. This is a catcher. I would bet more than I'm willing to lose that the majority of the heat that's causing the problem in your motorcycle is generated from the clutch. Now, I don't know if you're just normal clutch or have a recluse or whatever it is, but slipping the clutch is like lighting a fire inside there, and it basically heats up the oil, and then the oil goes through the rest of the motor, and the heat radiates, and it's really hard for the water passing through the water jets to cool the small amount of oil as it's flowing back into the bottom end and getting reheated. very quickly this all happens. And the oil works very well at high temperatures. Coolant, not so much. Coolant has a ceiling. So this is where your thing is. Now, here's how to check. If your back tire is spinning, it feels like your back tire is spinning. First of all, check your it's the left hand. Check your left hand and make sure that you're not touching the clutch.
That thing.
We know about it. We've talked about this before. That you're not trying to reduce the power with the clutch. That's what a lot of people do. And you can check this just on level ground. Go ride down the street, put it in third gear, and don't touch the clutch, and then start rolling the throttle on and dragging the brake at the same time. And then touch the clutch. When you touch the clutch, it really revs up, your clutch is good. If you touch the clutch and it doesn't make much of a difference, your clutch is slipping. Or if you can, drag the brake and roll the throttle on and it keeps revving up as you're rolling the throttle on and you're not accelerating speed. So you're putting an artificial load up against the motor, and the clutch, if it's bad, will start to slip. And you can feel it when you're doing it on a nice, good traction surface. Try this, and that'll tell you whether your clutch is good or bad. But if your clutch is slipping at all, that's contributing to the heat. I have not found that the KTM 350 needs any sort of additional help in the cooling department under normal use. If you're going to really ride it on tight technical trails, putting a radiator fan on helps, because usually when you start going really slow, there's not the airflow passing through the radiator, and the fan will usually do enough to keep that thing in check. It'll still boil every once in a while, or spit a little steam, but you'd be surprised at how much steam you have to spit out
before it runs away.
Before you're in a world of hurt.
And that trail, obviously.
Oh, Rocky Gap? No, I'm not sure.
It's the one between Level and into the it's the rock garden between Level Canyon, and it goes over into Vegas there.
Oh.
So a fan
it's like a super highway.
Most of it.
I rode an adventure bike with a trailer through there.
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah,
okay.
That one.
Yeah.
But
okay.
But as long as the fan is kicking off and then kicking on and then kicking off.
And I didn't ride on the main thing. I went down in the canyon. I stayed.
The first half of it's fun.
Yeah, I started to ride down on the bottom.
Too.
Yeah. So I know where that's at now. Now I know.
You know it.
I don't know the names of things.
You got to go it our way, or else you got to pay to do it this way.
Oh yeah.
I know which way you do it.
They let
same
poor,
way I would do it.
They let poor people from Prump in for free.
For free.
All right, yeah.
If you get to the rock, but anyhow, the fan, as long as it's kicking off, it's doing your
job.
Cooling system is working, right?
Correct.
If it's when it won't kick off and then things
just
start to run away.
Stays on, yeah.
So kicking it on and off, it is a slow section. It's steep. I don't know how fast he's going through there, but it should be kicking on and off, correct?
Yeah, and those rocks
so he should. I'm not. What I'm saying is he doesn't really have a problem.
Those rocks are slippery.
They are slippery,
so
they're big, and they're
his tire may be slipping. Suggest a Kenda Equilibrium. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On a dual sport.
Yeah, that's what So on my 480 mile ride, that's what I had on the back. It was one that had 1,000 miles on it before I'd say, I'm trying to think, probably had about 500 miles on it before I started that ride, and now it has another 500, and I got one really good. It had a moose in it, had one really good gash. I clipped something, and it cut the tire pretty good. So, but it's probably done. It probably has another. Actually, I wouldn't take it off because they actually work pretty good when they're worn out. So, Chris Smith says, I heard Honda is switching to Husaberg 570 wheels.
Yeah.
There we go. Because they can handle all that power. Well, the power that Chase put into it was in a different kind of direction. So I don't think anything that was. Yeah, I watched that, and you can actually start seeing the wheel fold when it finally grabbed when it grabbed traction, because the bars were turned. He started losing traction and losing balance kind of up in that rut. And imagine riding next to a curb and trying to turn up the curb. Mm-hmm. And where the tire's not going to climb out of this rut. It looked like that's how deep that rut was. And he was just on the other side of balance on that.
And don't underestimate how steep Supercross jumps are.
Yeah. And then he hit a curb that was in front of him.
Yeah, that
was
that way too.
Kind of like a wall. Man, so bummed. That was ugly.
Yeah, it was kind of sad.
Let's see. Run the Moto Z's tire.
There's Jorge.
That could be where you're spinning, in my experience. So, Trey says, fair enough. He'll see me in a few weeks. Oh, he's a student that was looking for the last minute discount.
Yeah.
Good for him. I mean, I'm a bargain.
Look at, he's a street back racer too.
I'm a bargain shopper. Yeah, based on the photo.
Well, yeah. Those guys are fun to watch learn.
Yeah, because
I kind of like watching them.
They start out on the other side of the motorcycle. We put them on top of it.
They almost always get my most improved player.
Yeah. They do. Well, it
means nothing because I'm nobody.
Well, you get to talk to students next time. You've been approved.
Can I give out a most improved player trophy? Which will be nothing, but maybe a bear.
It's just a George sticker.
A George.
Oh yeah, we'll get him a.
No, that's a
Jorge graphics kit.
The George sticker is like the tag of shame. It's like you got.
Why do I got him on everything?
Well, it's like I said.
I get it. Oh, I get it.
You don't see him on my stuff, do you?
No.
Well, I have some full graphics.
You got a full graphics kit.
But you paid the entry, so. Daniel C. mentions the wrong oil can ruin wet clutches. That is absolutely correct. And Jamie Schomburger says, thoughts on the new T7 Raid? I really want to ride one. I think it's funny because I looked at it and some of the things I complained about, which were fuel range, number one. Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the only things I complained about it.
Is it a new platform or is it just like a new version?
I think it's the same one. They just added some things to it.
Yeah, but...
And it has better suspension. And if they improve the suspension they have, that's just upward trajectory. That's better.
Icing.
And it's because it's not bad. So those two things are the things that stick out to me. I guess it gets some more digital features. You can connect your phone to it, and we talked about this in last week's show.
Yeah, I heard that.
But I think I'd like to ride one. I'd like to have one probably. Paul Torres has been coming out with a new T7 Raid video. I'm sure it will be epic. It'll be ridiculous.
Yeah, that's that dude.
It's everything you don't want to do on an adventure bike, but you think you could.
He makes it look pretty easy.
Yeah. So, here we go. Victor, what does Victor want to know?
If I go a little bigger in my piston, 2-stroke engine, do I have to lean the carb and change the pilot and main jets? Currently have a 55 pilot and a 170 main. Should I go to a 50, 178? What bike?
It's kind of, in my experience, if you're gonna go like a bigger bore, I don't know if he's actually doing.
I think he said a little bit bigger, so I don't think he means he's like taking a 250 to a 300 or a 125 to a 144. I think he's talking about like an oversized piston.
Just an oversize?
That's what I would call a little bit bigger piston.
No, I wouldn't change it. If your jetting was good when you took it out, even with those other kits, I always start with what was in there. If I know it was good, I don't just arbitrarily, boost it because, unless somebody gives me a jetting spec that I trust.
Yeah.
The manufacturer recommends doing this, then I'll say, okay, I'll do this. And a lot of times.
Yeah, and he is an oversized, not a big bore.
Okay.
So
don't worry about this. Just put if it was running good before, and Victor's a CR500 guy, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Actually, he is probably hoarding CR500s, knowing Victor. He's probably collecting them. Yeah, he's
probably not in a bad idea for that. If for financially.
And George throws in raise the needle one. So anyways, if it's running good before you took it apart and you're not doing major modifications, put it back together that way. I know some people that would bump a main jet size or something and break in and all these different things, but I never did. I just put them back together and it was running good. I'm just careful when I ride it, to see, hey, did something change?
Did it change it?
And I've had bikes that maybe I rode a little bit too long, and this was back in the old days on my YZ125s, where I'd made some jetting changes, and then I freshened it up, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, this is.
That's what I was going to say. Would freshening it up would probably change that more than obviously higher.
And I want to say that
compression
when I freshened them up, I needed to. Let me think about this. This is going to take a little brain power here to remember what did I do to them, and then because I had this old,
if anything, more fuel probably.
I had this old '86 YZ125, and I just used that was my kind of practice bike, and I remember I used to let it go for a long time, and then I'd freshen up, and I had to change the jetting. And I'm trying to remember. I want to say that I richened it up. It would run rich when the ring started getting worn and the piston was worn.
Yeah.
And then I would have to lean it out, and then I would richen it back up.
That's kind of what
I would ride it and go,
guess.
man, this thing's lean. I don't want to blow it up, and I'd richen it back up. So, yes. Victor TW, you're picking on the wrong guy. If you start picking on Victor, you're saying he rides a tuk-tuk.
A tuk-tuk.
Yeah. He'll show you some of that Mexican ingenuity. He's got it. So
David Potts.
Okay, you read it.
Tech question on brakes. I ride the rear brake heavily and overheat them at times. I just replaced my rear brake pads on my 2020 501 FE with Galfer pads, and they don't come with the heat shield. I called Galfer, and they said their pads are better, so the heat shield is not needed. What's the real scoop on this?
Okay, David, my experience is that Galfer makes some of the best brake pads out there.
Agreed.
They usually have a couple different pads for different bikes with different needs. Some last a little bit longer.
What's he mean, the pad with the heat shields? I honestly don't know what that means.
So like Hondas, a lot of Hondas have a little stainless steel pad between it, and I don't,
okay, is that what that is? I noticed some. Okay.
Yeah, they have that little
So
pad
between
in
the
it.
piston and the.
And sometimes there's a ceramic. There's also ceramic pads, and they're generally between the piston side pad only.
Okay.
They're not on the outside.
The pull side or whatever.
And some of those pads will pull off. It's actually a separate part. It'll pull off the pad, and you can install it because the pad's supposed to be the exact same shape.
Sure.
So a lot of pads have coatings on them that have some heat displacing capabilities and things like this. But if you're a brake dragger, you go into a whole different category. So
I was gonna say, yeah.
there's like normal use, and then there's brake dragging, and brake dragging is the kind of thing where you're just always building heat in that thing, and it just has no place to go. You think about, where's that heat going to go? Once the rotor heats up, once the pads start heat up, it starts getting into the caliper, it starts getting into the fluid, and this is the problem.
When it gets in the fluid, that's when it's a
so
problem.
the interesting thing is EBC makes a brake pad specifically for brake draggers. They're red, and it's kind of funny.
EBC red, yeah. And I don't like them either, but
they're freaking horrible for me.
Thank you.
Okay, they're horrible for somebody who doesn't, because they need to be very hot before they're like an on-off switch when they're cold.
I think they're the most money you can spend on a pad too.
Dude,
EBCs.
I thought they were inexpensive.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, I think they're this.
I knew I didn't like them though.
I see them on a lot of used bikes I buy, or just a lot of clients that come here. I see them and I'm like, I especially when I see them on the front, because I have not known too many front brake draggers. In road racing there is, but so I've seen them on the front of bikes, and I'm like, they stand out. I'm like, why'd you get that? And it's like, well, that's what the dealer sold me. And either the dealer didn't know, or you didn't. It was the cheapest one, or maybe they said these last forever. Which, by the way, if you don't drag your brake, these pads will last forever, and they could potentially wear your rotor out, depending on your brand. And all this other stuff. So they make brake pads for this. I don't believe Galfer makes. I think they make a harder one, but I don't believe that they actually make one that is a quote brake dragger type of thing. If you're really dragging the brakes and you don't want to stop. And by the way, if you're dragging the rear brake, it's slowing you down. And nobody wants to be a slow rider. I can teach you how to stop doing that and why it doesn't work. But that's a subject for a better rider podcast. Yeah. Live on
Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts, YouTube.
Everybody thinks Matt doesn't work, but he works really hard making my life,
the man behind the scenes,
easier. And Bob's waving his hand like the windmills.
Cups for motorcycles.
Okay, so if
that would help really fix that.
A
ceramic brake cup,
because it
versus
wouldn't
a steel one or whatever.
It wouldn't conduct the heat as well and put it into the
Hardly at all compared to conventional metal.
to the conventional metal ones. If you want to go, but there's definitely some options out there. But I think as far as brake pads go, Galfers are kind of my go-to, especially if I want to alter the feel of the brakes. Like if I think they're too grabby, sometimes so for me, KTM brakes are typically the we'll call it either the strongest or the grabbiest. It depends on what you ride all the time. And I remember that I could go from if I wasn't riding KTMs all the time and I started getting used to a Honda or Yamaha brakes, which were both very good in different ways, I would say Yamahas would be the least grabby, the least strong. Hondas were usually the standard. They were like right down the middle, great feel, great strength. And KTMs were
Or bitey.
high strength, a little bit grabby. And so if I had to switch from, if I'd been riding a Honda, I went to a KTM and I wanted to, like I was going to race it or something like that, I would actually go to the gal for pads because they had a we'll call it a more consistent feel. I didn't lose any of the strength, but I didn't have as much bite. And this is, I don't know how the regular guy would ever know this unless they got a chance to test it. And AP brakes had brakes that were insane because they were like another level of less grabby, way more power at the end. Like it made your lever pull more progressive, and they wore quite a bit more. So you couldn't do like long distance races, especially on the rear with these things, but they gave you more feel for a bike that usually is kind of more like an on and off switch. So EBCs were for me most just kind of standard issue replacements until they came out these reds. Yeah. And it was like, what's
wow.
they
you know what? They probably know what they're doing.
At
though.
least they,
and that's good for people.
At least
right? If you're gonna do
least at the magazine when I was there, they prepped us on this. They said, "Hey, these are for this is how I know. This is what it's for." And they told us what they designed them for.
I like that thinking.
And because they were having a problem with like at GNCCs, the guys that would smoke their brakes halfway through a 3-hour race. And they're like, we designed these so they work. And you go to a GNCC or even a National Enduro and listen to these guys. Actually, go sit in the pits at a National Enduro. And what's the first thing they change when the riders come in? Rear brake pads. So, or at least the last time I was at one, that's what.
All right.
So, okay. We're getting questions galore. I thought it was going to be a.
Well, we have a lot of YouTube and Facebook questions we need to get to.
Okay, we're going to get to those. We're going to do the next 5 here.
All right.
And then we're going to the sheets.
Okay.
Jesse Gent again. What's your opinion on replacing all my stock radiator hoses with Samco hoses and removing the thermostat? Is the radiator fan triggered from the thermostat? Just wondering if a fan would still be able to work with the thermostat removed.
Jesse, are you as dumb as me and you forget what we talked about like, a month or two or a year ago? Because I know I've covered this before. Hoses make no difference. You might get stronger, more durable.
The ATM hoses have gotten pretty thin.
Have you ever had a failure? That wasn't
that was
induced
like
by
no,
a stick or a
no,
crash?
No.
Okay. So that's outside the scope. I mean,
but they have to have some sort of durability, of course. But they've gotten thinner over the years. They are.
I haven't noticed this, but then again, I haven't had to pull any KTM's apart to verify this. My 300 is not going to ever come apart.
Mine's
because that's the newest one I have. Yeah. So to kind of step back, taking the thermostat out is a little bit of a risk reward thing. It's not you're gonna take something out that you think could be impeding the flow of water, but if it's performing properly, it's impeding the flow of water to keep your temperature at the right temperature. So, do you take the thermostat out of your car? No, they work. They're just it's a $3 part in a car.
Used to try it when cars overheated till the thermostat out. Man, it would get hot.
Well, yeah,
the radiator doesn't. The water has to stay in a radiator for it to cool down.
Yeah.
So you stop it there for a second.
Yeah. I would if they put it in the bike, they design it in the system, I would leave it there. So no, I wouldn't change it. I know race bikes don't have these, but then again, race bikes are supposed to be running at a high RPM optimum temp premium, and you warm them up, and they expect you to. So that's the answer. Next one. What does Beef want to know? Beef Moto.
Beef Moto. Late to the party. Who's Shorty going to ride with? Needs to see him back in the car.
Shorty's going to ride with me.
Let's do it, guys.
The factory Husaberg team. You haven't heard about this yet.
Yeah.
We're
gonna buy
launch,
some 450 stickers for it to get around the tech.
we're gonna have a 570. It's gonna have 450 stickers on it. It's already designed like a rally bike. You know, it's got the throttle body where it needs to be.
Gas tanks and all sorts of weird spots.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
What else do you want than a rally bike?
That's where he's gonna be at.
They put gas tanks in weird spots on those things.
And then Chris gives very sage advice. Dave, if you overheat your brakes often, change out the fluid often. If it looks dark, change it. That's a great idea.
That's good, solid advice.
Yep. Oh, and George replied to somebody, is the answer incorrect? It should start with, please take one of my stickers and...
Replying to George Gent. If I'm of the opinion that coolant needs to be spend some time in the radiator to cool, that's kind of what I said. I had a friend take it out of the track bike. Yeah, same thing I said.
Yeah.
It needs to slow down into the radiator, or else the radiator is what cools it. Nothing else, right?
It's all part of the system.
But I mean, the only time that coolant's getting any cooler is when it's in the radiator.
Yeah, and when you a lot of times if you put bigger radiators on, you know, they just put large increased flow radiators and stuff like that, and then the bike runs too cool. Doesn't run at the right temperature.
If there's anything you know about fuel injection, it does kind of like its right temperatures.
Well, it's like a perfectly jetted bike. It runs perfectly.
It likes its
perfect
right temperatures. Yeah.
Yeah. Next,
maybe Victor.
Sure.
Make sure the slider pins are lubed on your calipers.
That's good advice too.
It is, yeah.
Yep.
Keep the drag down.
Especially for a brake dragger.
Yeah, for a brake dragger.
It'll cook the grease on the pins. Yep.
Would you say you did say that kind of Yamahas and KTM's are kind of that opposite spectrums? Would you say those they've all kind of getting closer to meeting in the middle these days?
Oh, absolutely.
So would I. I've noticed that too.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I'm going from a history of starting to test bikes back in 1986. So there was a big difference.
KTM's were a little too jabby. Would you say that?
Hey, and my Yamaha had a drum brake.
Well, we know that is no good.
So actually, who were we talking about drum brakes? Was it you?
Me.
I was showing you
You're showing me
the little arrow on the lever thing that shows when the pad, wear indicator on the thing, because you can't see inside of it.
No.
Some people never take their wheels off. So, yeah.
I've often wondered why they still put them on some of the cheaper bikes. They look more expensive to make.
Listen to this. John Griffin says on his Baja bike, he put the heat shield off a Yamaha pad and installed it on their Galfer pads. So I'm telling John, you need to get those brake draggers off your team and get some real riders on there, because touching that rear brake slows you down. Every racer should know this. Rear brake slows you down, and you don't want to go slow. Mm-hmm. Use your rear brake for control. Front brake for slowing down. Okay, let's get on to these questions here. Don't forget that discount code if you're a beginner rider, and of course there's no beginner riders on this show that watch the show.
But if they want to teach a beginner rider.
Right, if you want to teach a beginner rider, then you should go to jimmylewisoffroad.com and check on our have them, because you don't even want to get caught dead there. If you're looking at that and like someone looks over your shoulder, you close out the browser as if you're looking at porn. You do not want anybody to see this, but tell them to go to www.jimmylewisoffroad.com, go to the online courses, use Tech Talk 22 as the code to save.
Right.
And you can give these as a gift.
Gift too.
Yeah.
Gift away.
Gift them.
Stocking stuffers, man.
Virtual stuff.
Yeah. Our first question is from Bryce. Hey guys, love the show. Just wanted to grab your thoughts on stainless steel expansion chambers. Cheers.
Whoa. Believe it or not, I've tested this before. I've tested stainless steel expansion chambers and aluminum expansion chambers. There was a guy, he was big in the jet ski industry, and he was, I think it was called Factory Pipe. And the guy still, he was a well-known two-stroke pipe guy. And but I don't know I wonder where the stainless one came from. But good God, did it sound weird.
Oh, really?
It actually sounded quite a bit different. These were cone pipes.
I was going to guess.
Yeah, it was a cone pipe.
Nobody production made one, right?
There were stamped aluminum ones. There were some stamped aluminum ones I rode. But they changed the character of the bike and not in a good way. and I don't know that it just wasn't and it was a small thing. you had to, you could feel it though. It was we tried changing jetting to see if it changed it, and it didn't. It was just it just like any pipe, especially on a 2-stroke, you put them on the bike and they would actually alter the way that the bike, felt power wise. And there was so much to do with the sound, like we all hear 4-strokes and more sound, and you feel there was definitely some of that going on there. The resonation, the way it sounded,
The way it resonates.
but and I think it had something to do, especially on the 2-stroke, with the way it held heat. I don't know that I don't know this for a fact. I don't remember it that well. But I don't know if the stainless would hold the heat the same way that like the aluminum would, heating and cooling and different things like that.
Right.
So
I mean, obviously, if it was better, it would have taken off on the factory level, right? And it never did.
You've
rubbed elbows with the
or
factory
titanium.
guys.
Yeah, there'd be titanium pipes, hey, there's titanium pipes, and I'm trying to think if I've ridden them on 4-strokes.
A Thai 2-stroke?
A Thai 2-stroke pipe. I have not.
I don't think I've ever seen one.
I've seen one before, but I have not ridden. It was a kind of more of a show bike.
Yeah, that makes sense. So if it was better, it would have taken off, right? I mean,
that's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes
at least on factory level.
and even if it was like, okay, so Honda found out on whoever's bike that the titanium cone pipe is the shit, and they know there's no way we'd ever be able to produce it. If it was going to make them win, they would run it. But if there was some thing in there where they said, we can't do this because then everybody's going to expect us in production, we can never do it, and anybody outside that found out, somebody else would be doing it.
Somebody else,
And it's a small circle. They find this stuff out.
Yeah, that can't be that. Okay, James Riddle. Are there any aftermarket wire looms that clean up the rat's nest that KTM packs behind the headlight? It seems I kind of agree with this. It seems the Japanese bike makers have been successful in keeping things streamlined. I was surprised on my 2-stroke. That is a 2-stroke. It doesn't have a lot of wires to it.
It doesn't.
And it has a heck of a wire nest behind that headlight that looks like a weird afterthought.
KTM used to be the best at really keeping it simple. Like
Streamlining
the old 4-strokes, you'd have like 2 or 3 coming up there.
I fully agree.
Yeah, headlight, neutral, positive and ground, and one off to the thing. And yeah, they've added some more things, and so now they have a couple dummy lights up there. You need some wires for those, and you have to have some EXC. We have some
and what he's talking about is the excess of wire. There's they ran a solid 1.5 foot to those. Like if you were going to put that dummy light out, you could run it to the front of your fender.
Really?
Yeah.
I know there's some wires.
There's a lot of extra wire up there, and it is not very tidy the way it's factory packed.
Now, are they worse than? Are they really worse than other manufacturers there?
I'm going to say, from what I've noticed, yeah. And I'm only.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not the end of the world or nothing, but KTM goes through such extremes to kind of find every.
They have the smallest wires.
Yeah. They go through every little extreme to save a little mouse farts worth of weight.
Right.
And then they kind of do that.
And then they have to.
I don't have a good. I know you don't have a good answer for that.
I don't have a good. I don't.
But I guess, does anybody make good aftermarket wire looms? Maybe he could check it out. I don't know.
No aftermarket wire and looms. Why is this a problem?
It's not a problem. No.
No, I mean for him.
But if you are OCD people, when you don't even see it till you pull the front plate off.
Right. Oh, I get this. I'm sitting there. Yeah. I'm with you there. I'm sitting there thinking, is there a solution or? Well, hey, hold on. The windmill is swinging its wings, and the funny thing is, so I may have purchased some bikes from a certain person over my time, a number of them, and this guy likes to knock off every ounce he can for some stupid reason. I mean, because he can, or he has time, or whatever. He read about it on the internet, like trying to make bikes light or something.
Are we talking about our windmill?
The windmill, yeah, and I would say every single bike that I've bought from Bob has a wiring issue induced by the former owner in an effort to correct some of maybe this. I don't know. But Bob, what do you have to say for yourself?
Well,
I mean, to help this show.
In case of the KTM, more wire costs more money.
Right.
So they're going to increase their price point if they have extra wire.
More no, more wire.
They put anything extra in there.
I mean,
No, they would do less. There's a reason for it.
I'm sure they figured out a reason why. I'm sure that wire loom probably fits multiple bikes and things like that.
Oh, okay.
And if you're running like a XC like I am, that doesn't have all the electrical features up.
But
like
that's the
headlights.
same harness as the EXC.
I'm guessing it's the same harness and things like that. It is surprisingly, look at it. It is a little bit not KTM style. I'll be honest with you. It's not the end of the world at all to me, but I don't care.
The basic harness has all the good connectors on it, and it's sealed, and it's real simple, and it's all the stuff on the EXC, the afterthought stuff that they went down to Radio Shack and got the connectors.
Okay.
Because
So
there's
the
a
bare bones wire harness has got the better connectors and stuff.
Yeah, that's how you tell.
hold on. Big John Perkins says there is no shot there is more wire back there than the betas. He's probably typing that while he's driving back from
Protecting turtles, buddy.
protecting turtles.
Oh, what else he's saving up there? I don't know, keeping them from getting stolen up there. I don't know.
I heard he's keeping aliens for
That
friends.
too.
He's
Yeah,
friending aliens. He's on a whole different network. I'm surprised he's back on the Earthlings side of things there. John, we had a spot for you over here at the side of the table. We'd like to have you back. That's a nice picture of you roosting, by the way,
not bad,
on your
right?
on your post.
Super
thing.
jelly. I wish I had a picture like that. Might steal it.
Yeah, steal it. But
I'll steal it.
That's what I would
You don't
do.
come around enough.
Well, how do we know that's not actually you, Jimmy?
Me?
Yeah.
You know it's not me.
Oh, maybe it's me. Because I'm the rad action model photographer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a sick picture.
Okay.
Big
What's
Johnny.
next?
Okay. Bill Hall. What rear tire does Jimmy run on his personal 500 EXC for Rocky Desert Single Trail? Size, manufacturer, tubeless, tire balls, or moose bib. I never see no tire balls around there, but
All the above except for tire balls,
okay.
I would say. So Jimmy's personal choice is so there's two tires are my go-to tires. I like the Kenda Parker DT, 120/100 on the bikes 350 and up, and then 350 and down I'll run a 110/100, just depending. But I will run tubes anytime, mooses almost anytime. I have some tubeless setups that are kind of, I have them, and
There's a lot of them out there, actually. I was
yeah,
surprised.
I have them, and most of them came on other bikes that I've bought and stuff, and I've tested them, so I have a few systems of that, so I'll run those sometimes. Never tire balls, but
I thought those
that's
were for
the
golf
that's
carts.
the personal setup.
What size front tire?
Fronts, the Kenda Parker DT almost exclusively. 90, what is it? 90, 100, 9100,
Not the 80.
21. Oh, no, wait. No, I'm sorry. It's not the 90. It's the 80.
80.
It's
80.
not the, it
I
absolutely
was going
not
to say,
the,
I think I see more 80s out there than
no,
anything.
because I actually was testing a tire that was a 90 100, and it was the fatty. It was a
Big-
fatty
big
tire.
sucker.
And I was testing it for a couple of reasons. To see what it did, and there's some stuff it does great, and other stuff it does bad, and it's a big, for me, it's a big, I really like this and I really don't like this, so I'd rather have something a little bit more down the middle.
And the 80 on the Parker looks a little bit bigger than your average 80 to me, but
Yeah,
that's just me.
it's a little, I think it's a little, is it a, to me it looks like a
little
little
wider,
bit, a little, I want to say a little bit smaller.
Oh,
but
okay, yeah, you definitely got.
But it's just because the knobs are so more open
they are.
space.
It's a unique tire, yeah.
And I always run them both front and rear in the hard direction, 100%.
Yeah.
So
We going to the windmill over there? He can't.
Make sure he mentioned the amount of hard
mention
Yeah.
mention what?
How to go hard with them? Okay.
direction, not the
Yeah, hard direction. Yeah, absolutely hard direction. Intermediate, no way.
Yep. Johnny Humphreys, in regards to the Johnny Campbell handlebar video, would love some caveat on bars for people with hand and wrist issues. Any exceptions like flex bars, knockoffs, special compound bars, sweep, etc. for hand pump, carpal tunnel, ECT.
So the funny thing is we did talk a lot about bar bend and stuff with Johnny last week, and we did completely ignore kind of that whole vibration stuff. So I run flex bars. I've run flex bars like literally since they first started making them, and they've gotten a lot better. They've just done some things, especially adding the rebound damping on them. I'm a big fan, and I've tested almost every other bar dampening system. There's some new bars that have, there's some carbon bars that have some sort
Twisted
of
or somebody
flex
makes some,
characters.
yeah.
I tested some early versions of those, and then they had problems, and I didn't test them after that. So I don't know specifically about this, but almost every other system, and I will tell you that just like everything, it's personal. So the reason I run the flex bars and a lot of my bikes, I run it in conjunction with a BRP damper.
I love that. I like flexing. I like that.
So it's all kind of, for me, it's part of a system that I've come to trust, and I know. I use the Scott's damper sub mount. BRP, makes the upper piece that bolts on, and then my flex bars, and depending on the height I want the bar, I adjust the height of the flex bar.
Right.
That's quote my system. Is it the best for everybody? Hell no.
I like that kit.
I think most,
and I feel like that.
I think so. So it's in my world, and I've had the opportunity to try all these different things. It's the best give for the take you get. So there's the Mako system,
Yeah.
So it isolates the bars quite a bit, and you run a standard bar inside of a very it's a top triple clamp that does it, and for me the problem with that one is that I lose some of the front end feel, and I can feel a disc guard on the bottom of my front fork, so I have a lot of feel for the front end. But so I lose this little bit of feel that most people may not even lose. They might not, and that bar will move around, but the bar is kind of connected.
Yeah.
And when we start talking about
it's because they move in all directions.
They move side, up, down, but the bar kind of stays. The bar always stays the same it isolates it from the motorcycle, which is, to some, that's a great thing. To others, like me, it's a problem. The flex bars keep you connected to the bike, and they take the hits and the shock out that kind of get to your wrists. So the other thing that's kind of interesting is the vibration that comes through, like how much vibration goes.
See, that I find better with the BRP.
Right. So I don't think the flex bar cuts the vibration down very much. It does a little bit, not very much. And so that's why I use them in conjunction. Although it does take some out of it, the vibration doesn't bother me. And on the BRP, it depends on which mounts you have, which color elastomers you have on, which vibration gets transmitted back up to the bike.
Yep.
So it's funny because I was riding my newer, to me, 2019, no, 18. What year was your bike?
19.
18? 18,
Your
19.
300, it's a 19.
No, my 500.
Oh.
Maybe it was a 17. I don't know. It was a newer. So I'm off the old 2014, and I'm up to the newer one. And I don't like this bike as much as my older ones. I don't like the transmission ratios. First gear's too high, sixth gear's too low. So the box got a little bit closer.
They're too tight.
And then vibration at the RPM that I
You
ride.
love, yeah.
This lower RPM, it's more. So when I'm cruising down the road, especially at like kind of we'll call it the legal speed limits, the 61 to 60, the vibration is bad on that bike compared to my old one. My old one will go that speed and it doesn't vibrate at all. So I'm gonna go from the red elastomers to the blue elastomers. I'm going to try this because I want to get
on the BRP
on that particular bike, on the BRP, on that, because the flex doesn't change, the vibration doesn't change with the elastomers. Vibration remains kind of constant. But you can also put bar ends in the flex bars. They actually flex. Fast Company makes bar ends that vibration dampers go into your bars.
Vibration, yep.
There's all different ways you can do this, and it really depends on what you're trying to go. But
I know what cured the best for me was taking your class, because I got a handful of metal, And this hand does. It vibes. It goes numb easy.
I was not even going to go there.
Well, and you don't really know this because you know how to do it right. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm loving it. Just stroke the ego.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to do that. But I'm like,
Yeah.
I did have vibration problems with this. I got a lot of hardware in it.
Because you were hanging on too hard.
And a lot of other things, but yeah. I was using a lot too much weight on my hands, etc.
Yeah.
And I had all the anti-vibe stuff in the world, and now you see my bike, it's pretty much, well, the handlebars are just the way they come. I don't need any of it anymore. And my hand doesn't go numb.
Right. Hope that sound doesn't last the whole show, right?
No, that just started.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about on here.
No,
so.
we hear
One of the Jimmys touched something.
Yeah, somebody. That would have been me, evidently.
No, me.
Who knows?
Drinking
Yeah,
apple
hold
juice
on a
over
second.
Jimmy, quit touching the buttons.
Satan just showed up.
Yeah, he's trying to keep us in check here. Had to do that, right?
All
George
At least once.
George took it away from me last show.
Oh, he wanted it all for himself.
I know, he wouldn't.
All for himself.
Like I couldn't. I tried to bait him to try to get that back. Next question.
All right. Ollie Christopher.
Give us the next question.
This is from good old Ollie Christopher. Electric water pumps and Supercross. LOL. How about these goofballs take the money for the electric water pump and take your class instead?
Oh man, this is like
Go, Ollie.
we're doubling up on the good.
Time
for
to
the
close the show down or
school.
something.
Yeah.
No, I didn't
We
mean to
just
do
called
all that.
the
I didn't want to start something,
the
but here we go.
Jimmy Lewis buy me a taco by coming to my class show. Yeah, good.
It's the Better Rider Tech Talk crossover.
Well, I'm obviously I really when we talk about all this stuff, whatever we're talking about, all these different things, there's a certain amount like rider and there's a certain amount like equipment, and until you're at a certain level as a rider, your equipment doesn't make much difference. It's amazing when I can take a guy off of a gal, either one, off of, let's just say, a competition bike. Like they got a YZ250 to go trail riding on, and they're just struggling. And we put them on a CRF 230, and all of a sudden, they can do all the things because the equipment, the vehicle, it matches their skill. It's not overwhelming, intimidating. And so in the early the early phases of riding, as you get better, even if you've been, it doesn't matter how many years you've been riding or how much time you've been riding, you may have been doing it for a long time because you don't know you're doing it wrong. And then, but having a bike that you can manipulate, I always tell kids, stay on a 125. Ride, stay on the small bike for a while. Learn to harness what that thing has and get the most out of it before you move up to the next thing. And I see this a lot of times, especially when you all of a sudden you have the financial means to just go and buy all this stuff, and you don't realize that the manufacturer spent a lot of time developing and designing the bike to work for the average guy, and you're kind of more like the average guy. You're not at the level that everybody thinks they are, where they buy all this extra stuff.
I notice a lot of extra protection being put on bikes that don't get scratched. And I mean, they got protectors for stuff that I don't even know you can hurt.
It's just like the trucks you see going down the road with every off-road overlanding.
They want black swing arms to
no,
look like not everybody else's swing arm.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
They have all the stuff known to man, and it's never going to turn off the dirt road. They got the max tracks, and they're never going to drive in sand. This kind of thing, but it's the same thing with, like, I sometimes I stand back and I'm trying to be like an expert here and not like pontificate, but like just kind of know your size, figure out what you're really working on when you start asking, really deciding which direction to go. Are you getting the most out of what you have before you need? I always find that it's better to have a need to, you're trying to get the trying to fix the problem that you don't have, and because it looks cool or it's got this. And don't get me wrong, I want to support the industry. If you want to buy stuff and you want to have things, bling it out before.
And there's some stuff out there that
there's stuff that really, really works. It's just, I hope you need it. If your bike works perfect and your wrists are good and your forks are good, you don't need flex bars. And I'm the biggest proponent for those things for certain things. They make good forks bad. And a lot of times there's a characteristic of forks that I don't like, usually being a little initially stiff. You put flex bars on, like the old KTM 4CS forks. You could put flex bars on your motorcycle, and those forks actually weren't as bad because the bar would do the work that the fork wasn't doing, and then also run a little negative air pressure in there. It's another trick. But yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
George says I didn't mention equilibrium when I was on tires. Of course I did.
Yeah, you did.
I said the equilibrium. George was probably like pouring himself a tequila, which
Yeah.
I need to do right now.
Pontificate. I don't know what that means either, Victor.
Oh, that's when you get up on your pulpit
Yeah, I know what that
and you
Captive audience.
usually held there by force, and then you tell them what the hell they should be thinking.
All right.
Next,
We got one more from
next-
Gabriel Kopp.
Next free question.
Yeah. For free question, but no $2 words like pontificate. JD Jetting explained, what is the best setting for the WR250R with big gun exhaust, flapper mod stock air filter? Oh, flapper mod and stock air filter. What the heck's a flapper?
Gabriel Comp, since in my infinite knowledge of everything and just being able to answer anything just off the cuff, I have no freaking idea.
Whatever you took it out of the box in.
Well, no. The cool thing about the JD tuner is that
You get to learn what you like, right?
it will do it. It has really good instructions that explain, and my video that you watched explained what the different settings do and how they feel and how you should approach this. So I know you want me to say green 2, red, blue 4, red 6. I know you want this, but I can't tell you that because I would have to have your bike with your tuner, and then we could ride it and do a couple things. But
What's a flapper mod? Is that where they cut the airbox open or something?
big gun exhaust scares me, but and like WR250R, is that the street, kind of the streetish one?
I'm not actually sure. I didn't know they had an R.
Yeah.
I mean, from what I know of R, it doesn't belong in front of
So
WR.
the flapper mod, I suspect on that one, some sort of an emissions device that's doing something someplace. I don't have a lot of experience with those.
Uncorked or whatever they call that.
Uncorked, yeah. So, yeah, I can't give you that. I don't know. I like to say I don't know when I don't know. Should we go to do some those commercials?
I believe we should, because it is
8:15
commercial time.
Commercial time.
And
Hey,
we'll come back with Rooster Endo.
hey, excuse me, Victor. Pontificate. So, okay, with that, we're going to take a little break, and we'll see you.
Get out of the house. Adelanto Grand Prix is back. March 18th through 20th, the stadium will be rocking. Bikes, quads, side-by-sides, pit bikes, kids races, and more. $15 weekend passes, camping available. It'll be a weekend full of pure adrenaline. Brought to you by Best in the Desert and the formal king himself, Ty Davis. Come out on March 18th through 20th and enjoy the family fun. Get more info at AdelantoGP.com.
What's up, Moto Buddies? Mike here from Taco Moto Co. What is the Taco Touch? It's the best service in the industry. Virtually 24/7 tech support via email or text, and it's like having a dirt bike doctor on call every day of the year, helping you fix your bike or recommend parts or setups for you. If you've ever received an order from us, you'll know that the Taco Touch extends to our fulfillment, and our orders come with the coolest stickers that you've ever had, buying parts from anybody before, and a handful of root beer barrel candies. All of our Taco Moto Co. branded components come with a no questions asked lifetime warranty, and we'll even extend out the warranty of other manufacturers, OEM, and aftermarket parts where we can, sometimes for life. We test and tune endlessly and exhaustively and obsessively. We're trying to destroy everything that we can before you get your hands on it to look for weaknesses and to improve it, or to make recommendations to the manufacturer. And if it's something that doesn't meet grade, then we don't offer it on the store. Everything that we carry is something that we have personally used, tested, and ridden, and raced, and knows meets the high Taco Touch demanding standard. Go out and get some adventure.
Welcome back. Commercial breaks were awesome as usual. I watched every single one of them with I just was staring at the screen. If you listen to it, it was a little bit of music, but we had odds from Yamaha, Taco Moto. Where's my list? Oh, where's that first sheet? You threw it away over there.
This one?
Yeah, all those things. Trail Tech. By the way, I guided my way through the Mojave Desert on a Trail Tech Voyager using the buddy tracking, so my buddy wouldn't get lost. And I found out that I wear my buddy out about halfway through the day. I gotta actually get a couple more buddies, and then that we can interchange them so we can go riding. The Adelanto Grand Prix. Do not miss the Adelanto Grand Prix. Coming up soon.
Ty Davis is actually in the chat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he has stainless steel pipes. Wait, maybe it was Ty that made them.
I think he says he made them.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh, we're gonna go back. I'll dive into that one.
Yeah, that looks
Scott
like
Sports was using the light transition lenses, which were awesome for my ride. Climb. I have a system with Climb. Like I used their 1.0, the Aggressor 1.0 under stuff, because when we started riding, it was like 36 degrees. And then in the middle of the day, it was 70, which is a big temperature change. And combined with that and having the Dakar pants have the big zip down things, I can open up and it flows air through there, and that stuff doesn't heat up that much when there's a little bit of air flowing through it. So check out climb.com. I know stuff is back ordered and it's tough to get right now, but hey, welcome to this world.
I was going to order some Mojave gear.
Their stuff is coming real soon. And if you really want to get it, call customer service and tell them you really want to get it, and they'll put you on the back order list, and you will get it.
Yeah.
DDC. My DDC sprockets never fail me. They support land use issues. I like that. And, again, sometimes hard to get, but well worth the wait, so order early. Taco Moto is sponsoring our next segment, by the way.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Roost or Endo, where you can win a $100 Taco Motor certificate to buy all the stuff that you don't need for your motorcycle. But he has it, and you should buy more of it. But actually, I'm going to go on Taco Moto and get some stuff.
Are you going to get the underwater kit?
No.
Have you seen that on there?
Does he have an underwater kit?
He's got a kit to ride your
Well, they have everything you don't need. I just told you this.
Well, there's one thing you probably don't need, but that's pretty much a goof.
If you ride in Alaska, you need it.
Oh no, it's a goof. It's this, but I mean, it's not a goof. It's
if anybody would ride
under, check it out and get a pretty good. It's clever.
Anybody would ride underwater, it would be me. I would try it.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah,
it's probably $900.
He's got the same kit that the world record holder.
Is it $999?
No, it's north of that, my friend. I want to say it's about $3,500.
I'm gonna get to Ty's thing. Going back to stainless steel pipes. He made a signature series stainless steel pipe back in the day. Pros and cons, it took a day to make. They cracked at the seams unless you knew the trick, and Randy Bevins knew the trick how to weld them up. On the dyno, they made half horsepower more, thinner material, so it sounded better, and better sound harmonics and lighter. Factory bikes are super thin materials. Let's see. Factory bikes are super thin steel pipes, and that's why they always sounded cool. I know this too. Stainless steel is stronger, and it held up better off-road, like a lot stronger. Stainless steel pipes don't rust. Dubach loved how it worked and told me it was the best pipe he tested. Funny thing is he wanted another stainless steel pipe so he could duplicate it. Ty's sending me a picture. So maybe it was maybe it was one of Ty's pipes I tested. I know I tested one at some time, and like I said, they were different. And that tink. I kind of remember. I don't remember exactly, but I'm thinking it was that really tink. You know when what two-stroke
little tinny sound.
You know what two-stroke sounds like? It's gonna seize. I think the stainless steel pipes sound like that all the time.
maybe made you roll your throttle back a little bit.
Yeah. So, hey, Victor says buy the underwater kit for the next LA B2V. I bet you LA B2V is not going to go across the Mojave River, the world's driest river with one wet spot.
I was going to say that thing has water in it. I've never seen it.
Somebody, Patrick, asked me.
Patrick,
so what do I ride? You want to know what I ride?
Wow, what bike you ride?
Yeah. Like, when I want to show you what I ride.
How much time you got?
I got a lot of bikes, but I'm just going to say, should we just like have the chat answer them in bulk? Like everybody in the chat should type the bike that I ride.
Yeah, your favorite bike in the world.
I'll ring the bell every time I see it pop up, by the way. So we'll take it. This is an interactive show. We like to communicate with you live on things. But now it's time for our favorite segment.
Roost or Endo.
This is the show where we tell you whether your bike roosts or endos. You send us a picture. You tell us what make and model it is. We like to know the make and model.
Yes.
So we don't have to guess.
I don't think we ever got confirmation on that one bike that we weren't sure was real last week.
Thank you, John. Mark, what? KTM 500? Yeah, on my days where I don't feel so sporty. Come on.
Big Johnny got her.
Yeah, Johnny straight away.
The big boy.
John's ridden my Fusaberg.
Oh, ding.
He'll never be
Johnny
the same.
getting more dings.
More dings.
He understood the assignment, as they say.
Oh, he's going to wreck this show. So you give us the make, model, and tell us about your mods, because that way we can analyze it and hopefully provide some not only entertainment to the viewers, but sage advice.
Sure.
Yes.
On how to modify the bike. And if your bike is our favorite of the night, and there's no telling what Dave, there we go. Dave had a question earlier.
Yeah, we'll get back to the chat questions.
If you tell us, I don't know what I was going to say. I just lost the train of thought. Let's just get straight into it.
Endo, rate your bikes.
Rooster Endo.
Well, you don't even need the damn mic. I'm taking this thing away.
Marty Bohan. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right.
Marty, yeah.
Marty from the party. He's got a 2017 TE250. He doesn't say much about it. I can tell you it's got wraparound handguards and it's a two-smoker.
Oh, because you looked at the picture and there's no information.
It's
But he's
stock.
Marty from the
I'm pretty
Marty's
sure.
from the party, bro.
It's
got
not.
handguards.
It's not stock, but I don't know if it's the lighting or if that pipe is like it's got the color tuning to it. You know when it.
It sure do. Good call.
You know when it gets that heat color signature.
It does. The stock, the OEM ones don't do
Too
that.
hot? Yeah. I like a two-stroke, especially just a non-coated just steel pipe that's like it's so hard to keep them from rusting.
I actually love that Husky color combo right there.
It's the older one. I don't
matches my boat, by the way.
I don't mind.
If that matters, but
it looks like an FMF. It's probably an FMF system because I can kind of see the back thing, but it's got some color to it. Looks nice, but you didn't tell us much about it, so we don't know anything. And when we don't know, we're endoing.
I think you just went OTB, my friend.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, this guy's been he's been talking here all night, asking questions. Jesse Gent.
Oh,
I think he was the guy who did Rocky Gap, right?
Give me the picture.
Oh yeah, you got the picture. He's got a KTM 350 EXCF. I know it has boys and whatever that's called.
It had a boys in water. cover. It might still. But is it on the list right away?
I don't know. No, I'm just going off what I remember.
Okay.
HBD handguards.
Right. Highway dirt
Baja
bikes.
Design XL Squat. SQXL, I think that's Squadron, right?
That's an awesome light.
Yeah, I agree. Seat Concepts.
Yep.
A Cherubi's 5.3 tank.
That's a long ways on a KTM 350. That's a good choice.
Okay. A Flatland Racing aluminum scud plate.
Right. That's for protection. That's good.
Enduro Engineering front and back brake disc guards. Oh, we knew that was coming.
Oh. You had to mention, you could have left one word off that.
Yeah,
And
I
just-
almost thought about not reading it,
and
but
made disc guards singular. And then you wouldn't have had to
Oh.
endure essentially
He notices.
the wrath that may come from. But you know what?
You know, the words right out of Gent's mouth. I know Jimmy never goes without a guard on his front disc brake, so.
It never goes without a guard.
Yeah, I think he's taking a jab at you, pal.
I want to see. Hey, this is my challenge to all of you people. Send me
Go
the
bend
picture. Send me the picture of your dinged up, gashed up disc guard, along with a picture of the side of your bike. And if it doesn't look like it was ridiculously crash-induced thrashing, those people can run those things. But most of us, normal people, do not ride our bikes. We don't ghost our bikes into rocks where a front disc guard would be. Do I have to keep saying this every week?
Yes.
Yeah. I like.
Jimmy, some people need disc guards.
Oh, okay.
They're big in aluminum, and you can get colors and stuff.
Oh, I should have known. Okay,
Yeah.
so next,
Next is Nelson Riggs saddlebag.
right?
Just added the Boysen Super Cooler. I think I talked
we
about.
talked about this.
Best dual sport bikes 90 degrees fuel fitting. Huh? What does that do?
It turns your fuel 90 degrees for more power.
Where you fill the bike up?
No. It's
Where it comes out of the tank?
Comes out of the tank, and you
But,
know.
but maybe he needs that with that big ass tank.
Well, okay. So
don't
guess
know.
what Jimmy did when he was mounting up a IMS tank on my KTM 500 the other day? Is I just pulled this pump out of this fuel pump assembly out of the stock tank, put on. The IMS tank is thin where the stock tank is thick, and you need these different pieces to put it all together. And the stock tank has a 90 degree fuel fitting in that year. Well, I put a straight one on there, like, because that's what I had that would fit, so that I didn't have to cut some stuff and make it work. So I modified my bike by putting the straight one on there, and I noticed nothing. It just it fit and it worked. So
Yeah, well,
but that's
you know
good.
what? I shouldn't have went off so hard on it.
Because he has a thing.
Because he pulled a Jimmy like he did last weekend, and he blew a fuel line on the trail, and
So-
decided to replace the line with a 90 degree fitting for better protection. So it
This-
sounds like it may be
This is
rerouted
absolutely 100% the right reason to do it. They tried it. It's funny because they
So
tried to sell this part for this particular year bike because the fitting comes out straight. I took one off an old KTM and put on a new KTM that goes straight, and it makes your hose hang down straight and do a turn as opposed to kind of contour with the tank. And you can't see it really in the picture.
No, I know, but I want to see the sled.
But I knew that I was doing this, and in my head, just like when radiator hoses come out of the bottom of the radiator and they go out, I would put a bit of protection up there in case I hit a cactus and a spine went into it and poked it. I would but for sure, for a protective thing, for exactly what he's talking about, that is an excellent mod, Jesse. I commend you.
That's what
You just made me eat my front disc guard.
Yeah. I think he leveled out the front disc guard.
Yeah. So okay, next.
Are you going to put one on your 1090 or a 10,090, whatever the hell that thing was that was spurting fuel all over the place last weekend?
No, I'm putting a zip tie racing fuel filter that integrates into the stock clamp. I have the part sitting in the thing. I got it from Rottweiler Performance like 2 years ago, knowing that would fail it someday.
It wasn't just a regular fuel line? It was a fitting or something?
No, it actually cracked the stock plastic fitting because there's a little bit of tension on that hose.
I'll get it. Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
no, a zip tie racing
Cool,
product
cool.
there. I'm putting on there.
Where
I bought
are we going? Where are we going?
paid
with him?
full
We listed
retail.
him or what?
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
There's more stuff. Jesse, you didn't talk about your heat shield for your bags. That's pretty awesome. That's a smart. You didn't talk about your protection on your side covers.
Are orange.
That's a smart thing. That's additional protection from your aluminum skid plate.
What year is that bike? That's an older one, right?
That looks like a 2014, 15, something like that.
Still.
Yeah, no, I think your bike roosts. I
agree.
I like it. It looks familiar. It looks a little familiar, but
It looks.
with that some of those mods that are doing something and other things that may not be doing things.
I like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
And you're a regular viewer. That gives you bonus.
Pen. I'm not gonna do that. Right
Jesse, even the voice of Matron likes you.
Next.
Oh, Jeremy Lucy, 2021. That's the 6 days. That's all I can see. He said he submitted a spreadsheet with it that was too long and hard to read.
Oh,
So,
oh wow! As you look at the bike, is this up there?
Oh yeah.
let's see her.
This
So
is
yeah, when I asked him for
She's
a
a
list of mods,
2021 500 EXCF 6 day.
that's good. And then
They make a 6 days in a dual sport?
yeah, all the 6 days are EXCs. Dude, I can
Wait, EX.
Hey, you were talking about those black swing arm guards? They're right there, bro.
I have them.
Yeah. I think it looks like there probably could be a spreadsheet. What does he have for a front tire? Did you have the spreadsheet handy?
Give me 2 minutes. I can pull
2
it up.
minutes.
Because it was.
Do we have another one that we can go on to?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll
Matt's
I
busy
can
over there.
park 'em. I
He's
can
gonna
park
be,
'em.
he's gonna be punching keys and stuff like that. We're gonna go to the
see
next
that
one,
thing.
Matt, and then we're gonna go back to the spreadsheet dude, to
Okay.
Jeremy.
Give me the.
Here we got Son O'Neill, Bill O'Neill. Oh, there you get your picture. I like the look at that already.
Oh, that's a 150 or 125.
You're on it there. It's new bike day for me, Bill. Congratulations. 2022 125 XC. Bulletproof designs, Anador's radiator, and rear disc guards. Waiting
Good
for,
choices.
Uh-huh.
He's waiting for the front one to come in. It was
Wait-
on back order.
waiting-
Are those on back order? That's the best thing ever.
Waiting for the plastic skid plate with linkage guard. I assume that's in a Cherubies probably. 0.2 hours on it for now. So
That is a sweet ride, bro.
Yeah, baby.
I'm you know who's really jealous? No, Logan's in a 4-strokes now, isn't he? He switched.
You ruin him with all these damn bikes around here that he rides, and he comes home. Oh, what are these, Dad?
We're doing a 250.
All this, and I'm like, he goes on a bike with got every.
Trevor's lining up the 250 4-stroke off-road comparison. So we're gonna
There
have
you go.
we have the new Honda, we have the Yamaha, I think we're gonna get a gas, and I think we're gonna get a Kawasaki. So it's a real wide range of bikes, and
He does really right now got the hots for a 350.
so we'll let him ride all the 250s and see how that works. But what was our name here?
That is.
You threw it on the floor.
Because I got mad about you giving
That bike roosts no matter what. I don't care who it is or whatever. That's a rooster.
I don't care what anybody says.
Here's a pin.
That's,
KTM's are back to orange frames. I'm cool with that.
Here you go. Pin that thing.
if I was to buy.
Don't get it too close to the Husaberg though. You're going way deep on that
yeah,
thing,
I'm going
and
in
it can't go. It can't go in front of that bike that Ricky really liked. That Honda. That's it. Right down in between there, and a little bit over to the. Yeah. So.
That'd be the bike I'd buy.
So when you're listening to this and you're wondering
Not
what the heck are they talking
XC?
about? We have this incredible board built by your son, Logan, in his wood shop where they finally let him use some cutting tools. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we have pictures of all these awesome bikes that have graced our presence, and we've talked a little bit about them. And I'm really waiting for the spreadsheet, Matt. I thought you were quicker on the digital things.
Oh, I have it pulled up. I'm just trying to save it so I can show why I said it was hard to read, because it's literally a black spreadsheet.
Oh,
Like, that's it.
whoa!
It's hard to read, right?
Holy crap!
Oh, he's saving
okay,
power.
Oh, he has the price on everything.
Yeah. Oh, and then he has purchased
Oh.
and installed and yes and no's.
Tally that.
Most
thing.
of it's yeses.
What's the tally on it?
Wait a minute. Yeah, does it accumulate the things on the bottom? Bob, if you get any closer, you're going to
Subtotal.
be on a camera.
Subtotal is 3,859.
Oh, were you trying to give me some more booze?
No, Jimmy dropped the paper, and I think it's right there.
Oh, we don't care. We moved on.
Oh,
Yeah.
I took a gander at this thing.
So yeah, his total is $3,859
Of mods?
of mods.
There's got to be more than that.
Not that bad.
No. Okay, I want to know about the front wheel. What he's definitely put some different rims.
It does not say the model. It just says mounted with tubeless.
Mounted with okay, so here's what I'm seeing in this picture. Pop that picture back up on the frame, Matt. This is important. So to me, it looks like he's gone to a 19-inch front wheel. Does that make sense to you? Can you see that?
Oh, that's what you're. Yeah.
I don't know if it's the camera angle, but this
It
is the
could be
kind
an
of weird.
angle. The rear does look slightly small too, but done as much as this.
Let me pull up the spreadsheet.
So it's interesting.
What's the exhaust on that thing?
Because
That's
I know
a unique exhaust, right?
he's got the wrappy thing around it.
Oh,
I'm not
that's
sure what
like a PC cart.
I'm not sure
or,
what the wrappy thing, the plastic
A
wrappy
P3
thing
carbon.
does. What do they do? Oh, so you don't scratch your muffler when you fall over on that side? Dude, I needed something on the lower part of my fork, like right there by the dust seal, because I got blown over by the wind yesterday.
What's been spent more money on in this world? Guarding pipes or pipes?
Oh, pipes.
You sure?
Yeah.
Exclude racers.
Oh.
Guarding pipes or pipes? Take racers out of the question.
No, that's a good question. Yeah, because they sent it into things.
Then pipes.
I don't know.
I see a lot of protection on bikes that I just don't see the guys crashing them like that.
Well, in the problem with some of the guards actually inflict more damage on the pipe.
Wow.
We used to debate about this when I was racing, because you could put pipe guards on certain things, and we used to debate about whether or not that was going to help or hinder the problem. Like, would you rather take a dent and have the pipe absorb the dent, or would you rather have this guard transfer the energy on the whole pipe and knock it out of the exhaust port,
or the cylinder,
break out the mounts,
exactly.
or different things like this? So this is an interesting thing. So, Jesse, did you just comment that your bike is badass?
I think it was the one.
No, I think he's talking about the one deuce nickel.
Okay, because I was going to take your bike and move it into badass land.
No, I think he was talking about the 125.
So, no worries. I want to know about this front, because I know a lot of old desert dudes that were taking their 21-inch front wheels.
Is that like a big wheel 85 or something?
Lacing them up to a wider 19 and running like a wide
super
fat tire, like to get that fatty tire experience. And I've ridden a couple bikes, and they completely jack up the handling, but not for a guy who sits on the back of the seat and sits down all the time. I actually had to ride the bike like the guys that were riding it to feel it, and I'm like going, I understand. And
he's like the putter.
These guys raced Triumphs, so they knew they were coming from a world of experience in this, and there's a lot of things like the tires were fatter and they had better bump absorption at lower pressures. Yeah. They didn't dent their rims. They weren't as knifey in the sand. They floated a little bit more. So I saw that and I said, damn, that looks like a big ass front tire. So I don't know.
Big Johnny, who has raced a lot.
Right.
He just answered my question there, kind of.
From a guy who destroyed a $200 pipe guard and still the
$250
pipe at King of Motos. I don't buy pipe guards anymore.
That's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
Like almost like
it's a kind of if you're gonna fall over and scratch it.
I guess it depends if scratches bother you.
Right.
Which
the pipe guard
never bother me. It's a dirt bike, so I don't care about it.
So my 300 has a nice ding in it that I didn't put in the pipe, but I got a brand new pipe with the bike and I haven't put it on because I know I'm going to do more of these. I literally want to go take that dent out of it, and there was places you could send the pipe and all this different stuff, and I used to know how to do this, pressurize it, put some plugs in it and heat it up or put water in it and freeze it. All these different
dry
things.
ice.
Yeah, there's different things you can do to it, and I just haven't done to it because you know what? I'm lazy. I want to ride it. It's not affecting the performance. Just go ride.
You're gonna ding it
because I'm gonna
go do on 2-stroke.
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get another one, and I'll wait till it really needs it, and then I have one to put on when I can send it.
By the time it gets enough of them, it generally don't fit the bike well enough anymore, and you just spend $220 on a new pipe.
And sometimes when you try to bend them back, they don't bend back.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got
and not so much the dent as much as the actual fitment of the pipe is what usually goes at some point on me.
We rode a certain section yesterday between two sections between gas, and we were paying effing ridiculous California maximum prices, and it was $10.60 for how much gas my bike took, like less than 2 gallons. So it tells you what the price was.
Yeah.
And I looked at the price and I said, I'll pay that. It was totally worth the experience I had. And this is what you have to decide. I mean, when you spend X amount of dollars on your bike, is it worth the experience? By the way, this bike roosts. I like the fact that the guy went to the effort to put a spreadsheet on and all this other stuff. There's extra work there. You violated my rules because I don't have the information in front of me, but
to be fair, he gave us the information.
It's just in a format that's just
black spreadsheets.
Pop
with
that
black
up.
font.
Pop that up on the screen so everybody can see that for a second.
Yeah,
Can you do
I
that?
will, because it's black sheet with like black font.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get you out of trouble there, Matt. So
here we go. Here's the spreadsheet in question.
George just is bitching about
the chat.
Putting his.
Just so
you know.
Yeah.
That's good enough. Just so they can see what we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
I can't see that from here, and I've got good eyes.
I can see
used to
it,
have good
but
eyes.
I can see it, but I kind of have to get all close to the screen.
I will say one thing, and
Well, that's more than Logan, so go for
I
it.
just started learning how to do spreadsheets. The guy, I don't think you'd ever do one for your dirt bike unless you really loved your dirt bike.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're the hardest thing to do for most people. They're really hard for me.
I take that personally because I do not have a spreadsheet for my Husaberg 570.
But you have a spreadsheet for your bikes.
No, I think you
Well,
missed.
it's included in a
misheard me.
spreadsheet, but
I didn't say everybody who loves their dirt bike does it, because I love my dirt bike and I would never do that in a million years. But I'm just saying, I think a guy who does, it is a sign of love for your dirt bike. That means he made it at work. He wouldn't do it at home for free. He's got better shit to do.
Well, I don't know. You just have a different thing. I mean, this is where I'm just completely.
I'd never build one.
I'm completely out on the whole spreadsheet thing. But
So am
I'm
I,
feeling accused.
That dude's at work dreaming about his dirt bike, so he built a spreadsheet on it.
I'm feeling accused of not loving my Husaberg.
No.
Because
you're
the
reading it
spreadsheet,
wrong.
the spreadsheet would it be the longest spreadsheet ever, or would it just have more numbers on it, like the maximum amount of power?
Yeah, you would just be like, you could like link to dyno charts and shit where it's just like.
I don't like dynos, but
No. But when you're talking,
but my ass dyno would like just I have a spreadsheet and it would be correlated with the sensor I have in my butt dyno that would record the amount of horsepower every time I twist the throttle, and it would blow away everybody else's horsepower numbers.
Yeah,
that's right.
But hear me out. The guy built a spreadsheet. It means he's got to be at work dreaming about his dirt bike, and he's supposed to be building a spreadsheet for whatever the hell he does.
We've got to pick a winner.
No, we got one more.
Oh, okay.
And we finally got our semi-vintage steed here.
Hey, somebody's replying to John. I'll just get my old pipe repaired and keep it as a spare. It took me 40 hours to destroy it. Probably another 40 hours to destroy the new one.
Yeah.
You don't ride like John Perkins. His budget would be reduced by 37 hours.
Yeah. He's big.
Yep. Whoa.
Yeah. 2000 Dirk Harshwood.
Dirk Harshwood.
I don't think that's right. There's no R in there. Dique. Dick Harshwood. Wait a minute.
Hey,
I see what you did there, Dick.
Did this guy submit last time too?
I think he submitted last week. Yeah.
Really? What did he have?
That's not a real name.
Sure. Let me check.
Well, I know this guy that used to write stories for Cycle News under Rock Hardwood.
Yeah, there you
rock,
go.
Spelled like rock, and hardwood. Two words. Actually, there's a hardwood racing.
This guy
Supercross.
remembers that guy.
There's a hardwood racing Supercross.
Really? But his first name can't be Dick.
No, I think he put a question last week. He didn't have a bike last week. He had a question.
But anyhow,
sent his bike. Well, thanks. For,
hey, if it's not your real name, it's cool.
Thanks for participating in the show. We like to keep it,
All right, here we go.
as raw as we can make it.
We got a 2005 XR 650L. Wiseco Big Bore.
Ooh.
What does that take that thing to?
You need to be a Dick Harshwood.
You got to have big wood for that. Morning wood and all. Pumper carb. Owning this, you don't need to. Owning this, you don't need a tractor to plow the field. So it saved him a lot of money and not having to have a tractor.
Okay.
Especially probably with a big bore, right? Gives that thing just like a ridiculous torque.
I'm super disappointed in the list. I mean, you don't have to get crazy with it, but you need to talk about.
FMF, don't it?
He has an FMF on it.
It's a Q4, yeah.
He needs to explain a little bit more. He's got some luggage racks and stuff on there that I want to know about. He's got a windshield thing.
He's got
he's got some double take mirrors, and Double Take is a friend of mine and a great company. By the way, if you want some double take mirrors, and there's always this nugget in the show where you don't know about, like it just comes out of nowhere. Email Jimmy at dirtbiketest.com. Ask about the double take discount. I will send it to you. Because it's usually reserved for special people, but if you're listening to this right now, special people get special treat. So double take mirrors are on this thing. That's super awesome. I'm curious if he's gone to the level to get that much power. What the hell did you do to the suspension in this thing to handle it? Because stock, this thing has plenty of power, and you're a man if you can handle it on the stock suspension. So I'm going to, because I don't have enough info, I'm going to slide this onto the, we'll call it the more endo-esque thing, but, you know, and like I said, don't be a dick.
Okay. Well, what are we picking here?
And don't be so harsh.
Harsh, yeah. Don't be.
Big John, who's got the best bike here? Who gets the $100?
Oh, we wanted you in for this segment, John.
Yeah,
I really did.
Johnny can spot a bike really well. He can.
One of the
that
best.
guy is a savant at seeing stuff on a bike.
Yeah. That's. I would agree. I'm literally going with. I like this one. You like this one?
Is that the?
Well, you know what? You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. I agree. Yeah, that's this bike right here.
You just knocked another bike off the high end of the scale.
He went OTB.
Hey, Jesse. Largely because you got a pretty Sano bike, and
I don't see a lot of silliness on there, really.
And I know that it does need some parts, and you're a worthy recipient of
sounds
the
like he's
Tech
going to do some of the right things with his part money.
He would do some of the right things. Hey, he looks like he has an accessory disc rotor on the front that he didn't talk about. Wait, which we can't cancel him?
An accessory disc rotor.
Look at the front disc rotor. Looks like one of those Galfer wave rotors, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He didn't put that on the list. Well, we could pick that KTM 125 because I like that and it's brand new. It needs a lot of parts.
Good question. Good call.
No, we're giving it to Jesse.
He's a dual sport guy.
He just is.
Yeah, you got it.
He almost just dropped right there. So yeah,
we almost lost a listener tonight.
Almost lost a listener. Jesse, you're the winner of that thing. Get in touch with us, and we'll make sure we put you in touch with Taco Mike.
Go put your down payment on that underwater kit, buddy.
Yeah, that'll get you started.
I need to see what this is. Great
supporter of the show. I need to get Taco Mike in here because I need him to come out with an ECU because I actually want to do a tune with Taco Moto. Because he puts these bikes into the other magazines and stuff like that, and he knows that I complain about everything because I want it to be just this way, and because I always think my way is the best way. We should work on something.
Oh. I'm going to put this in the chat.
Matt's looking at the underwater.
You found
this
it,
is
Matt.
fantastic.
This thing is awesome.
Chat needs to check this out. This is awesome.
I
love that it says pre-order only.
Yeah, you might,
right.
Because of COVID, he probably only has 5 or 6 of those on the shelf.
Oh, I assume it's really hard to get these with the supply chain issues.
Especially since Haverford hasn't been around since 1968 or something. It says
the monkey, I mean, when I say
click that
monkey,
link, guys.
The monkey,
funny.
the real live monkey that he has in the back of the shop that builds those types of kits. It's hard to get him to do it.
Oh.
Like they
get the rules.
They like to just sit back there and drink tequila. I know that kind of monkey. That's like me at the shop.
Throttle monkey.
So, okay, we got a couple extra questions in here someplace, I think.
Jesse Gent we did have him. He was almost edge of his seat. I think he was ready to jump off the cliff for the hundo.
Hey, what was that front disc rotor though? Did I call it? Not the guard. What were you hiding behind that disc guard?
He mentioned it. He talked about it.
What's our next thing?
Hey, looks like the YZ from Jesse G. YZ85 Fast Laps. Looks like the YZ85 is more than enough for me.
Well, so we up on Dirt Bike Test. I think there's some videos of the new YZ85 and YZ85 LW. I was pretty bummed that I didn't go out there to ride those bikes because I tell you what, as a former world backyard Supercross champion 7 times. Beat some big names back in the day. No, Jeremy wouldn't show up. He was scared. I did beat Ryan Hughes though.
Oh shit! Really?
Oh yeah. You don't know much about me, do you?
No.
Yeah.
I don't follow your racing career.
Hey, you should. Yeah, you should really like. I mean, it's on the internet someplace.
Jesse G, I like here that you like it.
So I wish I would have gone out there to ride those things. Those man, mini bikes are fun. Okay, next
That can
question.
be cool. 2020 Husky 501 full test, Brian Falcon. Is it safe to pull the exhaust perf screen on the stock ECU? Must be the perforated. Is that what he means?
Yeah, the very end one on the stock
Okay,
KTM.
I have the 500 EXC, and I am completely happy with the performance and power, but worried about the heat and want to cool down for longevity's sake.
All comments on the show are the expressed views of the host and not representative of anybody else.
So, if you were to do that, it would probably be very good for your motorcycle.
Yeah,
Yeah, the perf screen is a sound dampening.
I saw one this weekend. Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know they did that.
it's a sound dampening device that goes over the limit. I mean, of producing extra heat inside of your motor, and it reduces a certain amount of performance that is noticeable. Kind of throttle response. It doesn't really hurt the power, or popping it out doesn't really gain much more power, but it lets the muffler dissipate the heat a little bit better. And yes, you need to kind of chisel that thing out of there. It's for competition use only. You would want to chisel that thing out of there, make sure it goes away, and that the bike never sees it again, and you don't have to change anything else. That is probably the one of the nicest things you can do to your motorcycle, I would say.
Looks like if you got just the right hole saw, you can knock that baby out of there.
Yeah, you could do it
Take
with
that from a
you could
carpenter.
do it. Hey, if you have door related questions, we could have answered those tonight. Logan can answer them too, but he's short on the words. But Jimmy's the expert on this. I still need Logan to come over and put the door in that damn tin can across the street there.
Yeah, he's got a lot to learn about him.
Yeah. Oh, it's not going to go in straight. Maybe not.
It's going to take a while.
We should sit there and supervise him. I'll provide the beers.
Yeah, I will give him my piece wage I give everybody else.
Really? Well, he's got to invoice me. I'll pay
$64 for that, baby.
I'll pay.
We're going to watch the slowest $64 ever made.
I think it'd be good times. So, hey, Jesse, thanks for getting on the edge of your seat. And you said it was a stock rotor. It doesn't look stock to me. Give me that damn thing. It looks like a wave rotor on that thing. Maybe
they had them for a while.
Yeah, stock was the stock did have a wave rotor. Like my Husaberg 300 has a wave rotor on that.
Yeah.
Wait, what year is your bike, Jazz?
Yeah. Oh, did he not put it?
No, he didn't.
Oh, we can take we can take the $100
he
away.
Didn't. Yeah. Oh, let's give it back.
It's not there. Well, that KTM 125 is like it needs $100.
No.
We can't do that to him.
We can't do that to him. No,
he
we already declared it.
He didn't put the year. If I knew the year, then I wouldn't be questioning the wave rotor. Okay, we'll give it to him.
That bike's a little older than I think.
Second heart attack of the night.
Yeah.
On the other side of the screen.
Okay. I'm gonna say 12 or 13.
No,
I think
it's out. I think it's 15 or 16. I'm guessing. It was on it when I bought it second owner. It's a 2000. It did not the wave. 2013. I don't think it came stock.
The producer got it right.
No, I don't think it came stock. I think they're a little more. I think. They're a little more round.
He's the second owner, so who doesn't know?
Yeah, he doesn't know.
It was on it when he bought it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I was right about the year. That's what I was referring to.
Yeah, you get the gold star.
Hey, I was going to. I had notes on the show. I do show notes, unlike your son, and unlike Matt, who just spends all his time turning on my lights early. I actually had show notes, and I was going to talk about the 10 tips you should do to your bike right now to make it work better. But we're running short on time, and so I'm going to save that for the next Tech Talk Taco Tuesday.
I'm actually interested in that.
That's just 10 things that are mostly free that you can do to your bike right now to make it work better. And I had another note. This is when you guys don't ask good questions, and I'm probably screwing myself because now nobody's going to ask questions because they're going to want this questions. One. And why I hate people on the internet that have a bad experience with a product, usually at their own doing, and then they feel the need to go and badmouth that product. And I just base this on I use some of the same products and I have very different experiences, and I wish that I had the bandwidth to go in there and ask them a few, I'll call them pointed questions on how they were using that product or what they were trying to get from it or something like this, because is either the wrong product for them in the first place or installation, maintenance, use was incorrect. And
if we're not careful with guys like this, the whole world is going to be, the only guys are going to make parts that just change the look. Because you can't bash something that changes the look of your bike, a black swing arm protector.
If you like the black color
but
on your swing arm,
you can't complain about that.
You can spray paint or put the protector on there. But
you can't complain about that. So you get nervous. So
I just had to re-spray paint a bike because someone spray painted a color I didn't like. Okay, so I know this. I'm not speaking just out of no experience. I have experience with some of these things. So it would have been smarter to put a spring arm protector on it.
Green foot pegs.
They don't make.
I wanted monster foot pegs.
They don't make camouflage colored swing arm protectors yet. Somebody should, because that'd be awesome. But so I had to put it back to a color that was a little more standard. So thanks, Crazy Nate. And only half the bike was spray painted camouflage, because that's the only half you see when you lay it on the ground so nobody else can see it. The other side looked normal. Okay. USA Outdoorsman, would the KTM 500 do well in the Baja 1000? Yes. If I was on it, it would win. No, but if I was on the Husaberg, I would win by 20 minutes, 570. Do we have any other good ones in there, Matt?
Oh, we had a lot. I'm just trying to get back to the start of those.
There was a question that say, "Hey, moderator," what did that go?
Something about, I don't know, something about a question. It wasn't anything important.
George Justice had a Bassani fight for his webcam.
Hey, moderator, where would a place to ask my question since it was trash? Oh, you had a trash question, Aaron? I don't know.
Facebook or YouTube comments? I'm not sure where. I'm not sure what that's about, but anyway.
Well, half of the questions are trash. Just look at what Victor's does, and all his questions come through, so it couldn't be that bad. But hey, David Wood, thanks you for reminding me. Ross Liberty at Factory Pike. Yeah, time to end the show. Ross Liberty at Factory Pipe Products in Yucaica, California. He definitely was a pioneer in the pipe world, for sure. One of the guys. I mean, when you start talking about pipe guys, you talk about Donnie Emler, talk about Mitch Payton, and Ross was definitely one of those guys that had some really, really cool stuff. There's a few other like kind of secret guys out there. Guy from Bill's Pipes. Bill's was a guy that was always doing stuff in the two-stroke days, and it was a tough game. I mean, it was all about marketing at that point, because they all knew how to make good pipes, but like we were just talking about,
you go with the PC over?
It was like what flavor do you want? Mm-hmm. And I've ridden bikes where, you know, and I don't have any brand loyalty when it comes to how it performs. It's like I've ridden bikes where the FMF was much better than the PC, and I've ridden the bikes where the PC was better than the FMF, and other ones I didn't get a whole lot of chance to try some of these things, but you know, that's the way it works. And the windmill is going over there. Bob, you're not asleep. This is strange.
Remember Rick Ash?
Rick Ash, yeah. Factory Honda mechanic.
He built pipes for
right.
everybody.
Yeah. Was he building them before Mitch was making them for the Huskies?
I think so.
Yeah. In the old days, yeah.
Interesting.
So, okay. With that, we're going to wrap this show up. Wait, Victor has one. Should I talk about this or not? Hey, you're really gonna have to tune into the show live once in a while to watch Victor's comments, because some of them cannot be brought up on the broadcast. And Dirt Bikes and Stock says, rumors KTM is switching to TBI, injection at the reeds, which has proven to atomize better than TPI. TPI become the dial-up internet of this generation. That is yet to be seen.
No, it's proven. He said so.
Oh, well.
But what bike proved it?
When they introduced that bike and it performs better than the current bike, which I tell you what, my current 300 for the type of riding that I like and the type of riding it's sold for is incredible. So, and the windmill, one more time. Bob, we're going to end this on this note. Yeah, you can buy this. Yeah, you can buy this kind of system. You can actually buy a TPI block-off kit and put it on there. I think at this point it's almost as good as the 90-degree gas tank thing.
You can buy that for like an old carbureted bike or a new one? A new fuel-injected bike?
It was the ECU,
For a fuel-injected two-stroke?
Fuel injected, yeah. So yeah, it's an upgrade, I guess. So, hey, thank you very much, everybody, for joining in. Thank you, Jimmy, for coming in. It's been
happy to do it. Thanks for having me.
It's strange having someone.
R.I.P. Logan.
Yeah. We'll hope he dug the hole before we toss him in it, right? Yeah. I want to see him put that door in. Matt, good times. If you want a private instruction riding school by a handsome young man out here in Pahrump, Nevada, it's called Jimmy's Ranch. You come out to Jimmy's Ranch and you can get a private instruction for your beginner needs.
No happy endings though.
No, it's a totally happy ending. When you leave this place riding as a better rider, that's a happy ending.
I have a no crash record and a lot of smiles on people's faces. So
that's it. Smiles for miles. Okay, everybody. Hey, thanks for joining in. And what do we always say?
See you out there on the trail.
See you on the trails. Cheers.
Woo,